Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video I'm going to be featuring a team that reached legend first this season. This is from JW Naldo, the winner of the LAIC the Latin American continent intercontinental super strong trainer, running a team of Shadow, Alolan Sandslash, Jellicent with Surf and Shadow Ball Hex as well, and then standard move set on Tapu Fini. Overall, this team I went 13 and 12. Few games I threw, few games opponents outplayed me. Overall, this was a pretty strong team. Couple of problems here is obviously Virizion lead is with Leaf Blade and Sacred Sword. It's pretty much game over. And then unless you make some miracle plays, and then as well, Obstagoon lead, Scrafty lead is pretty tricky. But overall, this team won a lot of leads. I did face an abnormal amount of Scrafties, and I faced a Galarian Zapdos twice, which was very unfortunate. But let's go ahead and get started. And let me just speed this up here. Oh yeah, the Zapdos I actually ended up facing twice, which was very disastrous for me. So they end up catching the move onto Registeel, which is not great for me. And they have quite a bit of energy. The Galarian Zapdos, I guess, doesn't have any moves that really hurt. Alolan Sandslash Brave Bird is resisted, and then Ancient Power is a pretty weak move for no stab, but do throw the Shadow Ball. Obviously, it would have been optimal for me to throw the Shadow Ball into the Registeel as opposed to the Surf, but that's okay. They throw the Zap Cannon. Unfortunately, I get debuffed. I do farm up a little bit of extra to see if I can potentially do anything in this situation. I land the Shadow Ball, and then they throw right before I get to the move, and I am going to build up some energy. They do go for the Focus Blast, so I don't get debuffed. And then I throw the Surf into the Reggie, and they decide to let it go. And they actually come into Zapdos, and they play this very well, right? So they throw on CMP, or they throw after 2. That's fine. And then I go into Tapu Fini, and I know they're gonna Brave Bird me, so I decide to shield here to preserve a little bit of health. And they switch out into Jellicent, which is obviously absolutely disastrous for me. I decide to go for the Moonblast, and then I'm waiting for them to throw, but this trainer is very well prepared here. I do get the Moonblast through, and then I look to switch after this. Yeah, switch after this. But this Jellicent is just way too tanky, and it's a very nice shiny as well. And I get hit by the Shadow Ball, trying to farm down. Unfortunately, I have to throw. Maybe I try to commit the farm down, and maybe they try to overfarm or something. I don't know there, but really not too much I can do at this point in time. Even if I get the farm down, the Surf would not have been enough anyways to KO. I don't know. It would have been close. Probably not. But almost certainly not. Almost certainly they would have survived the Surf, and yeah. So very tough counter lead there, and obviously they make a very nice catch on their side. So very well played by my opponent. Overall, I had a lot of fun with the team. I always have a lot of fun with Alolan Sandslash. It's amazing how giving it Shadow Claw and Draw Run, well, obviously buffing it twice was really nice, but certainly obviously another counter lead here, which is really disastrous for me. And this opponent plays this well here. They do give me the extra move here, but then they have double, which obviously doesn't work that well for me because now I'm over 100 as well. So I decide to throw. So they're at 1 right now. And I do 1 and throw again. And now they're at 3. They need 5 for the crunch. And then actually no, they had a little bit extra. So I do 3 then throw. I was really hoping to catch and save this Surf. So I switch out right now because I know they have the crunch. And I have the Surf. but they decide not to throw here, which is very, very bad for me. And obviously, this is a very tough situation. Would really like to catch the crunch, but this trainer was extremely patient. And they do throw the power up punch, which will do quite a bit of damage and also prevent me from getting to another ice punch. And I come straight into Tapu Fini, but really, this is pretty much game over. I'm just gonna fast forward through this part here, just because I do end up farming up quite a bit here. And I throw right before the next pup or next fast move, and they have obviously Tentacruel here, which is very bad for me. So very tough back line. So I faced 2 counter leads in a row. I actually think I face another counter lead here, which you'll see right here. Obviously very bad for me, so I decided to switch out. And I throw the Surf. And it looks like they're staying in. And I kind of debate whether I should shield this or not. They end up going for the foul play, which does a tremendous amount of damage. And they actually have Pidgeot. So it's interesting that they didn't switch out right away. Obviously, it becomes a very awkward matchup between Jellicent and Pidgeot. I decided to throw because I didn't want them to Feather Dance me, debuff me before I get the second Surf off. And I believe they actually go for the Brave Bird. And my plan here is to go straight into Sand Slash, have them dump the Brave Bird, then I'm going to switch to and Water Gun down. So I let this go. And then I'm going to look to a Water Gun down, just get a little bit of extra energy onto the Tapu Fini. They tried to make it to the move, but I was able to farm down. They come into Jellicent. I have quite a bit of energy on the Sand Slash. I decided to go for the bait. They have 2 shields. I do get the bait. And then they actually bait me back, I believe. Yeah, they bait me back. And I shield, double shield. It's almost certainly that they're not going to mate now. And then I do 2 water guns and throw the Moonblast, which will do a pretty good amount of damage. And I switch out, and then I do 1 Shell Claw and throw the Drill Run. And then I make a very critical decision, which was to go for the Drill Run. And this would actually allows me to successfully farm down the Scrafty with Tapu Fini. Drill Run does more and is more energy efficient. I was only get to 1 move anyway, so you do the damage that does more. And if I would have went Ice Punch, then they would have been able to potentially counter me down. They go for another foul play. Actually, would have been close there. Maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, it would have been really close. But I'm able to water gun them down successfully and land the Moonblast and take out the Jellicent. So that worked out very nicely for me. So 3 counter leads in a row were pretty disastrous. I'm pretty happy to come out with at least 1 win. Obviously, the first game, the first game was like maybe winnable if I like threw the Shadow Ball and all that stuff, but it was going to be pretty tough. And Alolan Sand Slash Mirror is a very awkward, super baity mirror. The drill runs don't quite KO, do quite a bit of damage. So I decide to call the bait, and I get the bait call, and then I do wait to make sure that they don't catch. And I think I do 1 more and try to catch the move onto Tapu Fini. And I'm able to get the catch. Fortunately, it doesn't really matter if they throw the Drill Run or Ice Punch. Ice Punch is obviously very nice for me here. And they look to bank the move, and they come into Tentacruel, which is pretty nasty for me. I throw the Moonblast in between their poison jabs, and then I'm only going to be able to make it to the Surf. I would love to make another Moonblast, but I'm not going to be able to. And they have quite a bit of energy now, but I have a great Pokemon that can absorb all the energy, so I waste no time. They throw right away, obviously anticipating that my Sand Touch is going to come through. And they throw Scald, and I am going to look to farm up quite a bit of energy. I am going to look to, they actually end up debuffing me. So I'm going to look to farm, and then I'm going to let this go, and then I'm going to look to switch to Sand Slash and farm it down. And they come into Giratina, which is obviously really, really good for me. This Giratina is kind of in, I was going to say hot water, but more ice water. And they have Dragon Breath Giratina. This is just enough for the Dragon Claw, so I'm not too fearful of it. And I'm going to farm up a decent amount, a little bit of lag there. And I just want to make sure I have a move banked. And then I actually completely forgot that they had they switched out with the Tentacruel. So I throw the drill run. They have to make the call there. And then I'm going to farm down. And I was good either way, right? I was good. I could just double Shadow Ball the Sand Slash. It had no energy because I had a little bit of energy. Actually, no, I had a move banked. But I was in a very good spot there, so it worked out pretty nicely for me. All right, we have a Sand Slash into Swampert, which is obviously very bad for me. So I decided I was gonna throw the Ice Punch and then look to bail, or throw the Draw Run, then look to bail. They end up throwing on this, attempting the CMP. So I try to take that information. So I throw the Draw Run, and then they're 3 away from the next move, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to CMP tie me. So I actually go up to the Ice Punch and then catch on Jellicent, and I made the correct read on the opponent. They do throw the Hydro Cannon, and they come into Wall Rain, which tells me that they probably have Charizard in the back. And I throw the Shadow Ball, and it does quite a bit of damage. I'm not going to shield. I should survive the Earthquake. They will have to throw again onto the Jellicent. And I let this go. I end up throwing the Icicle Spear, and I throw the Shadow Ball. I could have did one more Hex there, I guess. And I decide to switch out right away because I don't want them to farm me down. And I call the bait. I expect it to be a Charizard in the back, so having shields would be really nice. They actually CMP tie me. I don't shield here because this is just a Hydro Cannon. Throw the Surf. And as expected, it is a Charizard in the back. And I'm going to do quite a bit of damage with these water guns. And I throw one water gun over the move so I don't CMP tie. And I lose CMP, but the Ice Punch is 37%, so they're actually at 37%. I actually was looking this up as I was weighing the clock out, and I know this doesn't KO, but I'm in a good spot anyways. Right, they're pretty low. I switch out, and then I catch the move. But maybe if I would have not caught the move, then they could have farmed me down. But it worked out pretty nicely for me, so I was able to win the game, despite a really, really tough lead there. So I lost 3 leads, neutral in 1 so far. And then man, so many counter uses. This is very bad for me. I switch out into Jellicent. I throw the Surf right beforehand. What do I do here? I shield. And I don't know why I threw out 4 hexes here. I don't know why I threw an alignment there. I have no idea why. I throw the Foul Play. And I'm in a huge trouble. I throw the Surf. And again, I'm in massive trouble. I do 3 hexes, and they end up just barely surviving, so I had to switch out here and catch the move onto Tapu. They throw the Foul Play. They have Swampert in the back, which is absolutely disastrous for me. So very, I guess wasn't really the best set for me to show, but again, you can see all my battles on Twitch anyway. So I end up getting Earthquaked. and they actually have a Charizard, so they make a very nice play by catching the move. I don't know why I threw there. I actually saw the switch. I guess I have to. No, I don't have to throw because my clock was gonna be up. So I do catch the blast burn. Um, I couldn't throw after 3 because they would have the Dragon Claw. Yes, it ended up being a close game. And go for the Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, the unfortunately, I don't have the drill run. So I guess if I would have banked the move, like not throw at the, well, I don't know there. I don't know there. Anyways, they they land the earthquake and take me out. So man, so many tough leads there. If I play it a little bit better on that one, maybe I can pull it out, pull it off. Like they switched to Charizard beforehand, so I could have, and the clock was up. I could have banked the energy, or banked a drill run. Like did a couple of Shadow Claws, bank the drill run, then throw the Surf at the Charizard, farm it down, and then come up with energy, and then force the Swampert to Hydro Earthquake, and then I would be in. Then I could just drill run. So I pick up a nice lead. Uh, and they come into Jellicent. Oftentimes, this team is like triple weak to Sand Slash, and I throw the drill run. So they're at 4 right now. I'm not too worried about Dragonite. They throw on alignment there, which is nice because it kind of throws me off there. I decide to no shield because I do expect it to be a Registeel in the back. And then I shield this. It's another Surf. And I'm going to do 4 Shadow Claws and look to switch into Tapu Fini. Or to switch into Jellicent here. Okay, I guess so. Switch to Jellicent. Okay, that's fine. I thought I switched into Tapu Fini on this one, but that's okay. I hex down. They actually come into Registeel. I farm up a little bit of extra, just like right before the Zap Cannon, just in case they try to Zap Cannon me and then switch into. They make a nice timing there, not throwing the Zap Cannon right away, even though they had it. Uh, and then I'm gonna farm up here. They actually catch on Dragonite, which is really nice of them. And then I switch into Tapu, and then I'm gonna look to Water Gun down this Dragonite all the way. It's kind of a boring little situation here. They superpower me twice, doesn't put me quite low enough, and I don't really care about these superpowers here. I guess if they had um, Hurricane or Hyper Beam, this would be a slightly different story. And I'm just gonna throw Surfs at this Registeel until they basically give up, right? So, and we just throw a bunch of Surfs, and then I'm gonna look to Shadow Claw down, and I end up winning the game. So that team's like a little intense slash like hugely core breaks. That entire team can resist or deal super effective damage versus that entire team. Registeel is probably the best matchup that they have. But I have multiple answers to Dragonite. I'm not particularly weak to it. So then we have Sand Slash into Gliscor. So this is a good lead for me. And I'm going to look to build up quite a bit of energy. They decide to try to catch the move onto the Jellicent. Bad timing on me. On the switch, it's so tough. I throw the drill run at them twice, which will put them quite low. Try to catch the move. Not able to. I let this go. I'm throwing the Shadow Ball. I'm going to have to shield the next Shadow Ball. I don't have to shield, but I want to preserve the switch. And then I'm going to throw right before they get to, well, I guess they need one more hex to get to the next Shadow Ball. And I throw at them. They do have the Surf there. I guess they could have thrown. They come into Gliscor. This Gliscor is not going to have to EQ me, but they have to EQ to take me out in one move. And they actually decide to... They actually do EQ. And then I come into Sand Slash, and then they have Cobalion, and this is a very straightforward matchup. Two Sonages don't KO Jellicent. And this is a very consistent matchup for Jellicent. So they actually decide to bait me with the Sacred Sword. Again, they're trying to look for any like possible win con at all. And but unfortunately for them, I was able to. I just had like really strong alignment versus that team. So plus Gliscor was a pretty big. No, no. Stand Slash was a pretty big core breaker to it. Gliscor has been a core breaker for a couple teams I've tried recently. All right, so this is a good lead, and I expect it to be pretty similar. Here comes the Jellicent. I throw the drill run right away. It should be good timing because they need one turn to switch. So then instead of throwing it 7 what I normally do against the move, and interesting, they again do 2 hexes then throw. End up letting this go. A shield. This one I think I catch on Taboo. Yeah, and I let this go. And then I'm going to look to a water gun all the way down. They come into Dragonite. I'm going to build up to the Moonblast. Throw the Surf. I really wasn't sure if they were going to shield this or not. They do end up shielding, which works out really nicely for me. And I'm going to let this go. This superpower does not KO. Puts me quite low, but I'm totally fine. And they throw the Moonblast. They come to Cobalion, and I'm in a really good spot here, and they decide to leave the match. Like they're jealous. I don't. They have a Jellicent left. I might have water gunned the Jellicent. Maybe the Jellicent was like left a little bit of HP. I can't remember. But anyways, it worked out quite nicely for me. So again, and then here comes Needle Queen, and they come into Obstagoon. But I figured that this is the double dark team, like with Scrafty in the back. So they actually obstruct me. Which is fine. And then I'm going to look to throw the Moonblast. I want to try to get out of this match. So I throw right before the Night Slash. And actually, it was a good thing it didn't KO because I would have been locked in this matchup for a little bit. And I wouldn't have been able to save this Tapu Fini. They throw the Night Slash. I do take a few more counters here. You can see I take one more counter just so I make sure I can switch out right away. And I come into Jellicent. I let this go. I'm almost for sure it's a Scrafty in the back. And I throw the Surf. I believe they actually let this go. Where do they shield here? Okay, and then I do 3, then throw. And then they decide to let this go because they're going to put it all in Scrafty, which makes sense. My Tapu Fini is quite low. I do 3 hexes, then throw. So they're at 5 right now. They need 7 for the move. And they only did 1 there. Did they do? I'm pretty sure they just did 1 there. I don't know. Anyways, I call the bait here. And then I'm going to throw the Surf. I'm in a pretty decent spot. Okay, no, they must have went to 7 there. I must have missed a counter or something. I don't know. Anyways, they foul play me. And I just need to land a Surf on them. I have 2 shields here, right? So I'm in a pretty good spot. I shield this, even though it's for sure a pup, which I would survive, but I don't think I would make it to the move. Plus, I would get countered down anyways, so might as well use the shields. And then now they're just into Ice Punch range. As you can see, these counters are doing a tremendous amount of damage. But I do have the Ice Punch, and I'm able to take out the Scrafty. Ended up being a very nice reach for me, which allowed me to win the game, come up with a little bit of energy, and preserve the Tapu Fini for the Scrafty, which worked out pretty nicely for me. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you very much, JW Naldo, for the team, and congratulations on reaching legend. If you like, sort of like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.